Okay, guys, back with another dose of BBC. Apparently, you guys are really craving that BBC, that black belt commentary. I'm getting flooded with questions, doing my best to get as many of these recorded and answer your questions and concerns. So, I'm going to actually combine two topics together. Topic number one, what can I do when I'm away from the academy? I don't have as much time as I would like to be on the mats. How can I maximize my time away from the mats? And number two, are grappling dummies worth the time and investment? So I think those two things those two questions are tied together. So let me tackle them together. Grappling dummies. Yes, they have value, but they only have the value that you subscribe to it. If you buy it and use it for a week and then just stick it in a closet or your garage, then no, it has no value. All right. My recommendation for grappling dummies is this. Number one, do your research on them. There's all different kinds. Some of them very awful and some of them very good. My suggestion is build it to your modifications, build it to your specifications. The one I typically recommend is from MMA Lifestyle, and it's an unstuffed dummy. So it's just the skin of the dummy. And here's the way I modded mine out prior to the COVID quarantine, because I knew I was going to need a grappling dummy to stay sharp. I took the empty skin, I stuffed it full of pillow batting that I got from the local fabric store. I went to Walmart, I bought industrial strength hosing, just garden hosing. A lot of people use PVC. I don't really like the PVC. I find it's a little too rigid, but this industrial strength garden hosing was strong enough that you had to apply some pressure to bend it, but pliable enough to simulate a joint. And then the last thing I bought was shop rags. So I stuffed it with the pillow batting, created a skeleton, arms, legs, spine, out of the industrial strength hosing, and then I just began stuffing it with the shop rags until it was an appropriate weight. I think I made mine about 60 pounds. Threw a t-shirt on it, threw an old gi on it, and now I had a grappling dummy that was going to suit my needs. So my personal experience with the grappling dummy, it was able to stand because I mounted two bike racks, two like bike brackets into my training area. So I was able to just take the dummy under the armpits, put it up. So I was able to use it for striking. It had enough weight that I could utilize it for throwing and takedown with getting some resistance, but without damaging my floor, right? My wood floor, my tile floor, whatever it was. And it also had enough rigidity that it could kneel in my guard and I could practice some guard stuff. And enough rigidity that when I was working on arm locks or top flow drills, like we've been doing this month in classes, it was sturdy enough to withstand that. So the drawback to it is reps on a grappling dummy they're dry fire reps, right? You're drinking non-alcoholic beer essentially, because you're not getting resistance from the dummy the same way you would get some resistance from a training partner. You're not getting a realistic reaction from the dummy the way you would get a realistic reaction from a training partner, okay? So understand that it is dry fire. Now, what you can do with the grappling dummy is utilize it to maximize your cardio, your conditioning, while you're away from the academy. You can do 3 5-minute rounds of striking if you create some kind of mounting system, right? Get that heart rate up, get a good sweat going. You can do 5-minute rounds of transitional work. Crossbody, knee on belly, mount, north, south, move, and get that heart rate going, get a good sweat going. You can get a really, really good workout. Ground and pound, right? Ground and pound on the dummy. The dummy never complains no matter how hard you go on it. So you can get a really, really good workout that maximizes your grappling cardio so that when you return to the academy, and maybe you only have 2 hours a week to train, you're in grappling shape and you're able to take away a full 2-hour training session because you're not tired physically or mentally. All too often what happens is I see people who don't have enough training, enough time in their week to be here 3, 4, 5 days a week. They can only make it once a week for an hour, or two times a week for 1 hour. After the warm-up, they're spent physically and mentally, and they can't even engage in the technique that we're showing, let alone grappling at the end, live grappling at the end. So the grappling dummy can really help you maximize the time you do have available to train. Now, what else can you do beyond a grappling dummy? Tons of solo drills. I have videos out there. Marcelo Garcia has videos out there. There's a ton of instructors out there that have. John Danaher has out there solo drills. Do a ton of solo drills, right? Work that into your workout with the grappling dummy. That's a huge thing. Keep the mobility. Don't eat like a slob. Just because you're not at the academy doesn't mean you get to check out and eat like a pig. Stay on some type of healthy diet so that you're in shape when you do have time to come here. And lastly, watch technical video. Okay, now don't go down a rabbit hole and watch 50 things on, inverting to outside heel hooks that have 47 steps. I'm very open with the curriculum here. So in other words, you guys know what we're working on that month, whether it's a whole month of half guard bottom, whether it's a whole month of mount top, whether you know what it is. So watch videos relevant to what you know we're working on here at the academy. Now, it might not be the same exact technique I'm showing, but at least you're in the same chapter of the book. You might be a few pages behind or a few pages ahead based on the videos you're watching, but at least you're in the same chapter. So those are my tips for you guys to maximize what little training time you have. And this doesn't apply just to people who only have 1 to 2 hours a week. Even if you can be here 5 or 6 days a week, these are all things that will benefit you while you're not here at the academy. All right, so take my advice for what you will. Hopefully it helps. And I'll see you guys back here very shortly for another dose of BBC.